Alright, so I'm going to go over two different ways you can transfer your drawing 4 times on a new drawing surface. And one would be the light box. This is the first one that I'm showing you images of. I didn't take a video of it. I figured that most of you would understand how to use one. You put your image on the light box, make sure the light is on, and then put your drawing surface on top of your original drawing image, and then you will trace that 4 times, as you see in the photos shown on the screen. And then you get something like this. Pretty easy, cut and dry, but you know, there are only 3 light boxes in the room, and there are about 24 to 27 of you, so if you find yourself waiting, then there's another approach you can take to maybe expedite the process so you're not sitting around, and that would be to use some tracing paper as a way to transfer your image. This is a little bit more cumbersome, but it's still pretty effective, and I use it a lot with my illustration work. So here is, I already did the tracing of my image. I'm going to flip it around. Alright, so why I flip it around is because I want it to face a certain way when I transfer it. So I'm going to flip it upside down and use a soft pencil such as a 6B or a 4B or an ebony pencil. And then I'm going to trace the back of my tracing. As you see, I had my tracing face up, and then I flipped it around, and then now I am literally retracing my tracing. I'm going to do it to where I get all the lines that are important that I want to show on the paper when I flip it back around. The reason why I flip this around is if I just transferred it as it was face up, then it would actually print backwards. So I am going to elect to trace the back of it so it faces the way I want it to face. So now I'm going to flip it back in its original orientation, right, with the ebony pencil side face towards the paper. And I'm going to take a mechanical pencil or something pointed, and I'm going to make sure there's no lead sticking out. So most of you own mechanical pencils, and if you do have one, this would be a great time to go ahead and use it as a way to impress the graphite into the paper. So I'm going to press, not draw, but press where the lines are onto the paper. The ebony pencil, again, is on the other side of the tracing paper when I flipped it around. So that is what's transferring on to the new drawing surface. The one problem with this, and it's not really a problem, but it takes a lot of time, is that you're going to have to do this 4 times. Also, the one trick is you have to, in order to ensure that you cover all the lines, I would start in one spot and systematically work my way from left to right or from up and down as to not miss any pencil marks. And I would even go over it twice just to be safe. So after I complete this one, the second transfer, I'll notice that my graphite is wearing off, so I would actually have to take my tracing paper back, flip it over, and then retrace it with an ebony pencil. You're usually good for about 2 to 3 transfers. So you can see it's sort of fading out a little bit, and this is where I'm going to put it back on top of another sheet of paper and then re-draw over it. If you try to do this 3 or more times, you're going to see that your transfer fades out pretty fast. This can all be done, in all seriousness, in about 20 minutes. 25 minutes. So if you feel like there's a long line for the light box, then it just might behoove you to go ahead and do this instead, as to not to waste any time. So typically what I would have done, looking back after I made the video, I would have centered my 2 transfers more up to the top of the paper, and then I would have put this third one beneath the left one, and then the fourth one beneath the right one to make a perfect quad. But that didn't quite happen, so I'm gonna put them all three together like this, and then once I'm finished with this one, I will then do my fourth one on the bottom, just like so. Because at the end, you're gonna go ahead and cut these out anyway into 4 separate pieces. So it honestly doesn't matter. It's all about what makes your life a little bit easier. And there you go.